Hey, it's Marina, travel experta. Today, we're going to be talking about traveling to Antigua, Guatemala. Are you guys ready for an adventure? Let's begin. So, Antigua, Guatemala is a colonial city in Guatemala. It's one of the only that is really truly still intact, and it's this beautiful colorful little town or village, whatever you want to call it. It's a small UNESCO site of 10 blocks squared with cobblestones and amazing restaurants and very touristy with this beautiful central park and cathedral. So whenever you come to Guatemala, and I have a podcast that covers an entire episode that covers traveling to Guatemala and the best places to visit when you come to Guatemala. Antigua is without a doubt going to be number one on your list to stay. First of all, it's only about 1 hour from Guatemala City, so you do not need to stay in Guatemala City when you arrive to the airport. It's actually quite convenient to just arrive straight to Antigua. It is also the central hub that you will be taking the majority of your trips from, either day trips or even going to your next location, which could be Lake Atitlan, which is also one of the most popular places to visit in Guatemala when you are visiting. So Antigua, like I said, is this tiny little colonial town that you could pretty much walk to anywhere you are if you are staying in center of Antigua. So if you read someplace, a hotel or an Airbnb that says 5 minutes from Antigua, I would really recommend staying right in Antigua because that 5 minutes can really make a difference. Because why do you want to spend money on a tuk-tuk or an Uber when you're right there? And 5 minutes, you really don't want to be walking that much outside of the center of Antigua. So that's one of those little things that people don't mention. I truly recommend it. Antigua also has this huge bus terminal, so that a lot of the public buses come and go from there. It could be okay to do, but traveling by chicken bus or public bus in Guatemala can be tricky. It can be a little bit dangerous. It's just really not worth that. I would recommend doing either a private shuttle or like one of those collective shuttles that hotels or hostels have, because they're just much safer and they really aren't that much more they're really not that expensive. I shouldn't say that much more expensive, but they're like $10, to go someplace. So when you are in Antigua, the most popular things to do is obviously just to walk around the town because it's really adorable. It's very walkable. They have this really fun central park where the cathedral is, and where a lot of really cool shops and restaurants and coffee shops and all that other good stuff is located right there. The most popular day trips to take from Antigua is to visit Pacaya. Pacaya is a volcano that it's always a little bit active. So you could literally hike up to the top. It's not a tough hike, or you could take a horse. They do have horses that could take you to the top, and you could roast marshmallows right there off of the lava, but yet still walk on it. So it's relatively safe. It's about a 45 minutes to an hour drive from Antigua, and it's definitely a fantastic 1 day trip. Also, Antigua has excuse me, this amazing central market, right? It's definitely one of the biggest in the area, and it's always open. You could go and visit and you could buy fruits and all this other stuff. And right next to the central market is the artisan market. However, the best time to visit the market is on a Monday, a Thursday, or a Saturday. Those are market days, and they are just bustling with fruits and flowers and energy and colors and everything you could imagine. So I would recommend definitely going and visit. You only need like 3 or 4 hours max. You do need to be careful with your belongings because pickpocketers, they are on the loose, and this is a very good place, especially if they're noticing that you are a visitor or a tourist. Definitely recommend to keep as little on you as possible, and whatever you do have on you, make sure that it's really close to your body so that you don't have to worry about being robbed. Now, there are some really cool holidays. Antigua, Guatemala is world known for Santa, which is Easter week or Holy Week. And it is one of the only places in the world that holds these processions and carpets. So if you're going to visit Antigua and you want to see the Semana Santa celebration or festivities, I recommend arriving that week before Easter, or if you can't do an entire week, definitely from Wednesday so that you get Good Thursday, what I think is Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and Easter in there, because that's when the best processions, these carpets, this ornate everything happens. The other big holiday in Guatemala is Day of the Dead, which is November 1st. However, the way that it is celebrated in Guatemala is with this massive, amazing kite festival. And the kite festival is held in this town called Zumpango, which is about 45 minutes from Antigua. And it is something that you need to see. It is the only place in the world that is celebrated like this. So when you come to Antigua, if you could come for November 1st for Day of the Dead, definitely recommend going and visiting Zumpango and seeing the kite festival. It is something that you will absolutely love. So, Antigua, like I said, it's a hub for the rest of your travels throughout Guatemala. If you want to go and visit Guatemala City, it's about an hour and a half, depending where you go in the city. And it's also about 2.5 hours to Lake Atitlan. You could take a collective shuttle, you could go by private shuttle, whatever is the best for you. And it's not a very far drive. Also, another really cool place to visit is Chichicastenango, which is the largest central market, the largest market in all of Central America. And it's actually on the way to Lake Atitlan. So you might want to do that, take like a little stopover, hang out there for like 4 hours, and then continue on to Lake Atitlan. Again, you could work this out with many different shuttles or private, whatever works best for you. So everything you could pretty much access. And if you don't want to go to Lake Atitlan and just want to go and visit Chichicastenango, it's pretty much the same days for market day, only they are also on Sunday. And the cool thing about Antigua is that it is in a valley, and the valley is literally surrounded by the Ring of Fire, which is 3 volcanoes. And the other, one of the most popular day trips to take, it's actually an overnight trip, is to go and hike up Volcano Acatenango, which is right next to Fuego volcano, which is always erupting and always gives you this magical show. I have an entire episode talking about how to do the Acatenango Fuego tour. I recommend that you listen to it so that you understand better the logistics of that. So as you understand, Antigua itself, maybe 2-3 days is really all you need. But because of all these really cool day trips, I would recommend maybe 5 days in Antigua. And then if you're going to be going on to Lake Atitlan, at least 2 or 3 days there. Lake Atitlan, which I have a podcast for as well when you go and visit it, especially with the villages. But if you are going to be flying out from the city in a later afternoon flight, you could certainly do it from Lake Atitlan. And any time that you are flying out from Guatemala City, you could definitely leave from Antigua. So if you guys have any questions more about traveling to Antigua or Guatemala, please let me know. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share and leave me a review. And remember to make every day an adventure.